As Vladimir Putin made his first comments since the failed uprising, Ukraine's president rallied his troops on the front lines. Vladimir Zelensky praised his military for what he called sweeping advances. His office says he spent the day visiting troops stationed near Berdyansk. He thanked the soldiers for retaking control of settlements in the area.
Today the front, Donetsk region, Zaporizhia region. Our soldiers, our forefront positions, directions of the active actions at the front. Today, in all directions, our soldiers had an advance forward, and it is a happy day. I wish the warriors more days like this. I visited Kortitsia Brigade, who distinguished themselves in the battle for Bakhmut. Heroically distinguished, well done, boys. Then our Marine troops. Very powerful, very neat. Thank you for efforts saving the lives of our soldiers. Then Tavria, the south, the front. A busy day, a lot of emotions. Had the honor to award our soldiers personally, to shake hands.
Well, our RI's chief correspondent, John Cookson, has been monitoring these developments, and he joins us now live from London for more. Thank you for joining us, John. So, do we know where Yevgeny Prigozhin is currently? Do we know where he is?
Hi guys, good to see you and great to be on Newsday. They seek him here, they seek him there, they seek him everywhere. We don't know exactly where he is, but as you said in the intro, a private jet was seen, a jet that he normally uses, heading towards Belarus. I can tell you it was an Embraer Legacy 600 private jet and left southern Russia in the early hours of this morning and landed at an airbase near Minsk, the capital of Belarus, at 4:37 hours this morning. Now, this man is never fearful of social media, and I'm sure he'll pop up at some point, perhaps not today. He needs to sort of get settled in Belarus first, but I'm sure he'll be doing some posts on social media in the coming days. This 62-year-old billionaire mercenary leader starting a new life, perhaps in Belarus, but I suspect not for very long. He's just not that kind of guy. I mean, he's had such a colorful career, responsible for many atrocities, mostly against civilians in different parts of the world. And, his life has got many chapters, and all we're seeing at the moment is just a single chapter. The president of Belarus, Mr. Lukashenko, as you said, was on TV this morning holding a press conference. He made no mention of Prigozhin or his arrival or non-arrival. So we'll have to wait and see, but it looks like he has arrived in Belarus, and how safe he is there, we're not sure. Whether Putin harbors any serious grudges still against him about the failed weekend rebellion, we'll only find out when he survives. That's Prigozhin or not. Prigozhin survives or not. I mean. Some of Putin's adversaries have met some sticky ends, have fallen from windows, been poisoned with plutonium. He must be at risk, I would have thought.
Well, two things. Let me just speak on what you just finished now, because I'm wondering, just me in my head thinking, here is the president of Belarus who says that they're going to help Putin anyway, and they will send artillery and everything possible to support Putin. And this is the same man that the head of the Wagner group has chosen to go and stay with. I don't know how that works, but while you're giving us an answer to that, what do you think is going to happen to the Wagner group, considering the fact that some people who know Putin have said that the man is so ruthless, they don't see any hope for those people?
Dealing with the Wagner group, I've seen reports that they're being disbanded. I'm not so sure about that. They may be handing over weapons, but look, the choices that have been given by Putin is to go to Belarus, go home, or join the regular army. Now, some of these guys were earning between $5,000 and $10,000 a month fighting for Wagner. Are they going to really join the Russian army where they would not be welcomed at all on a tenth of the pay? I don't think so. If they go to Belarus, what future is there for them there? We don't know, because we don't know what the future of Prigozhin or indeed the region is for the time being. And the other option is to go home. Well, you know, many of them are former prisoners, some of them killers. They find it very hard to find a regular job in Russia. So the chances of these mercenaries just disappearing away, I think, is slim, at least in the short term. And the other thing is that I mentioned the atrocities that they've carried out. Surely they're not going to escape punishment in the long term for what they've done, the massacre of civilians and the torturing of Ukrainian soldiers. Surely the international community won't let them get away with that in the long term. So there's a lot of uncertainty swirling around the Wagner Group. And yesterday, Lavrov, the Russian foreign minister, said the Wagner Group will be operating in the future in Mali and the Central African Republic. And of course, there's Syria too, where Russia still has an interest. So my sense of it is that they'll regroup in some way, possibly with Prigozhin as a leader, although he may have given up for good. We just don't know. He doesn't need the money, and he doesn't need, frankly, the hassle of leading a mercenary group. So everything's very much like this entire story, this whole episode of what's going on is very much in the air.
Very risky game Prigozhin and the Wagner mercenaries are playing there. But let's move on to President Putin. He's been speaking again for the last hour or so. Apart from him being slightly perturbed, what more have we learned from his speech?
I was really nonplussed by this event. Here he was in Cathedral Square in Moscow, thanking 2,500 soldiers and policemen for stopping a civil war. Well, if what we were told at the weekend is true, they didn't stop a civil war at all. The problem with Prigozhin was ended when a deal was struck with Belarus that Prigozhin would go there and stop his advance on Moscow. But nevertheless, Putin wants to promote this idea that what happened at the weekend was a victory for Russia. He praised them for being loyal to the motherland, for defending the constitution, and turning a rebellion into a victory. So this was all for the domestic market, I would have thought. This is what Russian state media will tell the Russian people, that the mini rebellion was put down by Russian forces, which, if the stories that we've been told about what really happened, it just is not true. It's just another myth being spun into something factual by Putin, and Putin standing, as I say, making an important statement on an important stage, in other words, Red Square, reasserting his authority and thanking his loyal followers for stopping what he said was a civil war.
So, John, help us understand then. Does it look like Putin and his people are spinning this story and making it look as good as they want it to be? And is there any pushback from any of the media in Russia? Are you hearing anything from there?
Look, the whole Ukraine story is spin. Zelensky's people spin, the Americans spin, the UK spin, and Russia spins. Yes, of course they do, because that's now a weapon of war. The world leaders put out propaganda which suits their position as far as where they stand in the war in Eastern Europe. So, yes, as I said earlier, the images that we saw just a few minutes ago will be used extensively by Russian state media today to show business as usual, and Putin undamaged, unchallenged, very much in control, and thanking his soldiers and policemen for protecting Russia and creating victory out of chaos. Everyone's spinning. It's not just Russia.
It's a lot of spin, and we will continue to watch this saga as it unfolds. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, John Cookson.